We have found pretty often that people are really out of touch with where their food comes from. Knowing that it comes from the ground, it comes from a healthy soil, it comes from a person, it comes from a farmer. We ought to put some value on that.
What do you wish that the average person who's never visited a farm knew about what you do?
Well, I wish that they would at least take a farm tour and learn something about where the food comes from. Most people, especially urban people, they know it comes from Winn-Dixie. They know it comes from Walmart, Piggly Wiggly, because that's where they go purchase their food from, you know. And they need to know more than the fact that this is not where it starts on the shelf in the store. It starts in the dirt in the field on somebody's farm.
With all the health problems we have, people need good, clean food. And really the only way to know where your food comes from is to know your farmer.
The mission of the McDowell Farm School is giving people the opportunity to connect with their food, to connect with what is then later on their table.
We basically opened the Moore Webb Homes plantation up for agritourism and to teach the history of agriculture. I'm the sixth generation on this farm. Our family settled here in 1819. You don't see too many farms that have lasted as long as this farm. Our family has been able to evolve and basically diversify throughout the 200 years to make this farm work and so that it can be passed down to us.
It's just, I don't know, it's just a sense of pride that I can actually grow my own food. I don't actually have to go to the store and buy nothing but a little sugar, a little flour, and we can make a meal out of what we grow.
We worked for a multi-farm CSA for a little while and got involved with other farmers, and I noticed that the older generation didn't have a younger generation coming behind them to sort of mentor.
You couldn't do this type of thing not being passionate about it.
That first tomato of the year. Yeah, I
Tomato pie.
watching your son pick a cucumber off of the greenhouse trellis and is just snacking down on it. Being able to provide food to people that need the food, that might have health problems, that can tell the difference after being on, quality, organically raised food.
I was born into it. My family was farmers. They were sharecropper farmers. And when I got married, I married my husband. He was a fifth generation farmer. To me, there's just a harmony with nature, working on the farm and in the gardens, planting the vegetables and gathering it, preparing it to sell at the farmer's market.
Supporting farmers, my goodness, could you support a better cultural movement in your county or your, region? Like what people have to do and how they have to work together with their families, keeping their land, stationed where they are in a way that you can't just up and move a farm. You have to be committed to your place. I don't think there's a much better investment in a place and its community than supporting local farms.
Alabama, we forget how, a lot of times, it might come off as a West Coast thing or an up north urban movement thing. We gave birth to this. When I talk about the sustainable agriculture movement, do not underestimate the power of George Washington Carver. The magnitude of the inventions that he made, the impact that he had on the world, that's our legacy. That's Alabama. And sometimes because of cultural reasons, we don't claim that. And we let him go as being the peanut man, or we trivialize his accomplishments. If you care about environmentalism and if you care about Alabama environmentalism, you'll know something about George Washington Carver.
The most rewarding part of my lifestyle is going home at the end of the day exhausted and finding a lot of joy and contentment in what I did that day, whether it be feeding people or discovering what it means to be a sustainable farmer. My name is Kyle Platt, and this is BDA Farm. It is a USDA certified organic production. The most challenging part of my lifestyle at this point in my life is building a farm on principles like no-till that I haven't necessarily started my 7 years of farming with. And so it's almost a conversion of a breaking of habit of old techniques, of old things that I held true or that were comfortable to me.
Organic, sustainable, these aren't like new things. Like we've used these methods from millennia to like up until a few decades ago.
Teaching kids about the environment and where their food comes from and creating real connections for them is one of the most important things we can do.
Childhood is when you become accustomed for probably a good portion of the remainder of your life to do what you're gonna do food-wise. It's worth it, you know, for parents to focus on that and prioritize it and spend money on it. I mean, real food costs money. It needs to be valued.
I believe in number one, food sovereignty. I believe everybody should know where their food comes from, where the food is grown, how it is grown, what type of chemicals is grown on their food.
There is a connection between the food that you eat and where it comes from, like with the micronutrients in the food. When you eat food from really, really far away, it's a stress on the environment because it had to travel so far from you.
To have food shipped all the way across the country just doesn't make sense. It's the fuel miles involved, the cost of the fuel and the shipping, and then the breaking down of the nutrients.
For us, we are not certified organic, but we use organic practices. We want any person to be able to come walk through our fields and eat any vegetable. It is the best for the health of our plants and the people that are going to consume them.
When did the world start changing and why? And I think a lot of it will point back to the unbridled use of chemicals.
We have a problem with surrounded by row crop farmers. So that kind of messes with my garden. And I got a lot of overspray. So I have to be careful. So I did not plant very much because they had a plane to go over since it was raining to cut down on their weeds and stuff. So my peas got wilted. So this year I'm not gonna have very much because of what they're doing around me.
So I think if we consider the health of a human being in connection to the health of the environment and the food that's coming from that environment, anything is sprayed on these crops, anything that gets put in the ground, all of that in some fashion stays in the ground in some way or winds up in our systems or both.
You have to ask yourself as a farmer, what am I putting into the ground and how is it affecting others downstream, down the creek, you know? And I enjoy that I can work out here and don't have to be in a bodysuit or in an air respirator.
Or that our son can run around barefoot, you know, and eat whatever he decides he wants to eat.
If you look at the environmental effects of nitrogen fertilizer, like agriculture is one of the #1 causes of anthropogenic climate change, which is man-made climate change. And also when it comes to non-point source pollution, which is pollution where they don't know where the cause of that is, agriculture, especially in America, is one of the #1 causes because of nitrogen fertilizer, because we over-fertilize fields. And then we also get things like soil erosion, where our soil is dying. People just think like, oh, it's dirt, but it is the makeup and the cosmos of our entire community because it's where our food comes from, our energy. It's literally what our buildings stand upon.
Food is, you know, a humongous land use. That's like almost 3 full quarters of all land on planet Earth is agricultural. It's just a huge transaction that we have with the environment.
One thing that I'm doing that's a little different that we haven't done before is my dad has established several hundred acres of longleaf pine trees. We used to have over 90 million acres of longleaf pine in the southeast. Now there's only about 3 to 4 million. What we're doing is we fenced in around them and we put some sheep in there and we're starting to eat the understory so that just sort of a sustainable type agriculture. Just making a change and diversifying and you know, keeping it passed down from generation to generation.
I think farmers everywhere are people who have a great connection with the land, and they really appreciate and care for this land that they occupy and for the people that it serves, which are their families and their communities.
I think it's important to keep your food dollars as local as possible, and you know, to support as much food as you can from a small bubble, you know, of 40 miles, 240 miles, you know, whatever you decide your food bubble is.
I think it's important for the modern consumer to support small farms because our food system is so incredibly fragile.
If just a small percentage of us could produce or buy local vegetables or local produce, it could completely change the way the whole system works. It could upend that system.
When you think of many, many people adopting a lifestyle that respects their own health, the demands that many, many people doing that would put on the land would look very different. This. That's buttermilk coming out of it. All right, so here we have it. Welcome to the world, baby butter.
Buying locally supports a local economy. It provides jobs.
And then also just food security. This world would be a heck of a lot better off, a lot more resilient with 100 farmers in one small area than we would even one big farmer supplying all of Tuscaloosa or Birmingham.
So seek out the farmer. Look for calluses on hands. Look for dirt in nails. Look for not time to, you know, maybe groom theirself because they're working all the time. That's your real farmer.
As consumers, to support the work that we're doing is when we set up at the farmers market, support those farmers markets, CSAs, support the CSAs and have your food delivered to your front door, and visit farms and buy directly from the farm, from the U-Picks, because we need that support to stay in business.
You can taste the difference.
How good it tastes. It kind of sells itself, you know, like you can see the difference, you can smell the difference, you can taste the difference.
I think as a farmer, I speak for a lot of farmers, come down to the market and see for yourself. Try it, eat it. I think you'll be joyful over it.
Yum, 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 yum. Yeah.